E! Waylay! Joyce! Yeah,
At the starting line of the city marathon, 16-year-old Malik was shoved aside. "Get out of the way!" a runner snapped, glaring down at him. The words cut deep, sharper than any runner's spike or race day wind. Around him, the crowd surged forward, oblivious, while cameras and cheers focused on the elite athletes. Malik's heart pounded not just from the push, but from the injustice. He stood still for a moment, breathing in, feeling the sting of being dismissed. Before we dive into his journey, drop a comment with your city or country. Let's see how far this story reaches. Malik lived in a quiet, tough neighborhood where every day was a challenge. At 16, he had learned to move quickly through streets, past crowded corners, around stray dogs, and beyond judgmental eyes. Running wasn't just exercise. It was survival, freedom, and sometimes, escape. He ran to school, to the corner store, even when chores called, simply to feel alive. His mum worked double shifts and rarely saw him, but she smiled every time she caught him sprinting down the block. He didn't run for fame or attention. He ran to prove to himself that he mattered. Around him, other kids in the neighborhood were already talking about futures they might never reach. Meanwhile, the runners at the city marathon were polished, sponsored, and celebrated. Malik's quiet dedication was invisible to them, but it burned brighter than any spotlight. Malik's training was a solitary ritual. No coach guided him, no fancy shoes adorned his feet, no crowds cheered his name. He ran at dawn when the streets were empty, counting each step with a stopwatch taped to his bedroom wall. His shoes were old, worn, but every scuff and crease told a story of miles conquered. He studied old YouTube tutorials, mimicking elite runners' form, endurance drills, and breathing techniques. Each session ended with a small victory, a mile shaved, a breath steadied, a stride perfected. Even the rough pavement of his neighborhood became a teacher, teaching him balance, resilience, and focus. He felt the tension of every muscle, the rhythm of every heartbeat, and with each step, anticipation built. The marathon wasn't just a race, it was a test to see if quiet determination could defy the expectations of the world. Around him, the morning of the marathon was electric. Elite runners stretched in their gear, sponsors' logos shining in the early sun, cameras capturing every movement. Malik stood at the back, number pinned to his chest, shoulders steady, eyes focused. The contrast was impossible to ignore. Around him, runners chatted, laughed, adjusted watches, and tightened laces. Then it happened, someone elbowed him roughly. "Get out of the way," the boy sneered. The words were sharp, but Malik's response was quiet, a deep inhale, letting the tension sink into resolve. No one knew what he carried within, what miles of silent practice had prepared him for. Today, they would see a strength they had ignored. The starting gun cracked through the cool morning air. Runners surged forward, legs pumping, breathing measured, faces set in determination. Malik didn't launch with the crowd. Instead, he began steadily, controlling each stride, measuring every heartbeat. The elite athletes glanced back occasionally, dismissing the boy at the rear. His pace was calm, almost invisible, but each step carried the weight of years of practice and years of being underestimated. Memories of every sneer, every locked door, every sideways glance fueled him. He felt the rhythm of the street beneath his feet, the wind slicing past, the quiet whispers of encouragement he'd given himself in the early mornings. This was his moment, and he would not be ignored by the second mile. Malik began overtaking runners quietly, each step precise and measured. The crowd, initially focused on the leaders, started noticing a new figure weaving through the pack. Footsteps pounded against pavement, breath hitched rhythmically, and eyes widened at the silent boy gaining ground. Memories flashed schoolyard races, running home in the rain, dodging ridicule, and each fueled him further. He passed a tall boy with flashy shoes and a confident stride. Then a girl with a coach, pacing her beside him. Malik didn't celebrate. He didn't need to. Every meter was a testament to quiet determination. By mile 3, whispers rippled through the spectators. "Who is that kid?" The suspense grew. He wasn't just running. He was rewriting expectations with every stride. By mile 5, the elite runners began showing fatigue. Sweat-streaked faces, shoulders slumped, breaths ragged. Malik remained calm, steady, each stride flowing, muscles responding with precision honed over countless mornings alone. Then, a runner ahead, one who had shoved him at the start, looked back and sneered. Malik's pulse spiked, not from fear, but focus. He imagined all the times he had been dismissed, ignored, underestimated. And now he channeled it into energy that surged through his legs. The crowd started noticing more, pointing, whispering, "Look at him. He's catching up." Each mile built suspense. With every step, he felt the weight of expectation he had carried for years. Inner voices pushed him forward. Prove them wrong. Show them your worth. Don't falter. The world had told him he didn't belong. Now he was forcing them to watch. Forcing them to see what determination could achieve. By mile 9, Malik had closed in on the leader, Ethan, the runner who had dominated every local race. Every step felt heavier than the last. Muscles screaming, lungs burning, but determination carried him forward. Ethan glanced back, shock etched across his face as he saw Malik gaining with relentless precision. The crowd's murmurs grew louder, sensing a challenge no one had predicted. Side by side, they ran, the tension palpable with every footfall. Malik's mind replayed every insult, every push aside, every doubt cast upon him. The energy of years of being overlooked now surged through him, transforming fatigue into power. Ethan tried to surge ahead, but Malik matched him stride for stride. The final mile approached, a stretch where only grit and willpower mattered. Every heartbeat thundered in Malik's chest. Every breath was a rhythm of resistance. The finish line loomed like a distant sun, promising triumph or heartbreak, and the city held its collective breath, waiting to see if the boy they ignored could truly rise. The last 100 meters were a blur of motion and sound. Malik felt as if he were floating, not running, soaring past the crowd and his own exhaustion. Ethan's face showed disbelief. Malik's calm focus contrasted with the strain of the leader. Flashbulbs popped, cameras clicked, and the crowd's roar rose to a crescendo. Yet Malik was in his own world, every step a statement, every stride a declaration. Side by side, they sprinted, neck and neck, breaths ragged, hearts pounding. Then Malik leaned forward, pushing past the pain, muscles firing like never before. Time seemed to slow. The finish line approached in slow motion, cheering faces, waving flags, cameras capturing every millisecond. His foot hit the line first. Silence fell for a heartbeat, as if the world itself paused. Then, an eruption, gasps, cheers, disbelief. The boy who was told he didn't belong had crossed first. Triumph was his, earned not from privilege, but from relentless perseverance, courage, and the refusal to be invisible any longer. Malik walked off the track alone, chest heaving, sweat dripping, heart soaring. There was no podium, no official ceremony, no immediate media frenzy, just the quiet pride of a young boy who had proved himself. Back home, his neighborhood buzzed with excitement. Friends and family replayed the race on phones, eyes wide with awe. "He looks like us," whispered one child, inspiration shining in their eyes. The victory became more than a medal. It was proof that determination and persistence could outshine privilege and expectation. Malik's story reminded everyone that greatness doesn't need permission, that countless others, overlooked and underestimated, could rise when given a chance. The marathon wasn't just a race, it was a statement, a beacon of hope for anyone who had ever been told they didn't belong. His moment had arrived, and it belonged entirely to him. If Malik's story inspired you, like, share, and subscribe for more stories of courage and perseverance. Tell us in the comments who motivates you to rise above challenges. Remember, greatness doesn't wait for permission. Whether on the track, in life, or chasing dreams quietly in your own neighborhood, your moment can come. Don't stop running toward it.